I came here to find out, is it okay to cross-train at other gyms? What do you think, Seb?
Sinful behavior, just absolutely sinful behavior. Only train with people that you know their first names, last names, firstborns. That's the only thing that's allowed, right?
Nowadays, it doesn't seem like it's such a big of a deal, but it's still a topic that comes up in discussion. If it didn't come up in discussion, then it truly wouldn't matter, right? Maybe it comes from competition, like not training with the enemy. I mean, I could see that. It could be a little weird. For what it's worth, though, I literally trained with one of my opponents the week before the IBJJF Lisbon Open, so... But for the average hobbyist, who cares? This brings me to the term creonte, which I've sort of heard thrown around playfully. Alex, what is a creonte?
What?
Exactly.
What language is that?
Creonte is a pejorative Brazilian term for somebody who's disloyal to the gym that they've been training at. I wanted to know exactly what it meant and what the history was, so I did what any scholarly person would do, which is take to Wikipedia and BJJ This is what they had to say. All right, so here's what Wikipedia says a creonte is. It's a pejorative term roughly meaning traitor. It's used within Brazilian Jiu Jitsu organizations to refer to a former student who is perceived to be disloyal due to starting an independent school, switching associations, or otherwise moving on from a long-standing relationship with an academy or instructor. The key here is a long-standing relationship. And it looks like it's more than just cross-training. And there's a whole section on Wikipedia about the decline of the usage of this term. It's kind of what I thought it would be. And then there's this article from BJJEE.com, what makes you and doesn't make you a creonte in BJJ. It certainly doesn't apply to people who occasionally train at other gyms. And the story they give here is about an athlete who was brought up by a coach, propped up by years of assistance, and now the athlete is presented with a better offer financially from another gym or team and then leaves and switches to that team. So in that case, they might call that person a creonte. Then they say, so stop talking about your monthly gym membership and your right to take your business wherever you want. No one is arguing that. Yeah, I think nobody is arguing that. That seems like the common thing that everybody agrees on. And when that's not the case, it just seems like a red flag at that gym. Okay, I think I had the wrong concept of the word entirely, but this actually kind of makes sense now. Somebody invests a bunch of time into you personally, and then you just go someplace else. I still don't know if I would agree entirely with the disloyal label, but I can at least now see how somebody would get angry at that. Okay, so creonte does not equal cross-training. I was worried though for a second that I might be a creonte because I've literally trained all over the world for the last 18 months and then full-time as a nomad doing jiu-jitsu over the last year in 2023. By the way, my home gym is Kyotera Academy, and Kyotera Association is the association that I've competed under for the last 18 months, and all 60 tournaments at Blue Belt. And here in the Bay Area, we have a pretty strong cross-training culture. Like with this group that we call the Koffee Krew, which gets together every week and does an open mat somewhere in the Bay Area, like today at Solidarity Jiu Jitsu.
Definition of creonte is right. This face is in the dictionary. I think Koffee Krew is the enabling of cross training. Is really what this is. Like this is everybody's obsessed with cross training. This guy allows for that sinful behavior.
So all these people are creontes.
So they're just having fun, having a good time training with other people. They're not creontes.
I guess y'all gotta fight it out. Just like Seb and Kiko, I've always laughed at the idea that cross-training would be disloyal. Yet, I still hear stories about gym owners getting angry at their students for training elsewhere, even in 2023. Like, look at this thing that was just posted on Reddit. I got banned from the gym. So it finally happened. I got banned from the gym because I prioritized training instead of following gym politics. The main point here is he said a month prior, the teacher made a monologue about how we shouldn't go to other gyms, events, and we should only stay within our franchise. The poster is asking, am I the crazy one here? Is it normal? And the top comment is, you get to go to a better gym now for you. This other person saying, happens quite a bit when you have a gym owner with a fragile ego. This person saying, so the owner of Starbucks got pissed that you went to Dunkin' Donuts and barred you from coming back to Starbucks. Wait, so is cross-training actually okay? What are the problems, if any? So here's my take. I've lost count of how many other gyms I've trained at all over the world. Because keep in mind, in the last 18 months, I was doing competitions every 1 to 2 weeks. And every place I traveled, I had to drop into a new gym to train. I was always welcomed, and it only ever benefited me to train at other places. It didn't cause any conflict with anybody, nobody at my home gym, none of my training partners, nothing. Also, I didn't really have a choice, since I didn't have an apartment to come back to and I was just living out of hotels. I'm back based in San Jose again. I'm still gonna compete, by the way. But that means I get to train out of my home gym gym every day, but I still go to as many open mats as I can, wherever I can, and even multiple times per day on the weekends. I just want to train more Jiu Jitsu, that's it. And I think that's the case with most people. I've never personally met anybody who has an issue with cross training, including my own home gym. And in fact, most people who I meet actively encourage cross training, like my own coaches, or Kiko over at Solidarity, or Darren from Kuliana, or everyone at Koffee Krew, which includes other gym owners and black belts. And the list goes on. I have, however, started to see a frightening amount of stories on Reddit like the one we just saw, as well as someone even telling me in person at a Koffee Krew open mat that their coach had an issue with this type of thing. And I think if you're a pro athlete, that's a totally different context, which isn't totally relevant to this video. It just wouldn't make any sense for Gordon Ryan to go train with Nicky Rod and then have a super fight with him. But we're just talking about your everyday low-level competitor or hobbyist, or really even just most people doing jiu-jitsu, even if they're a black belt competitor. This reminds me of Keenan Cornelius when he left Atos a while back. I forget who took him in, but he had to train at some other gyms, and he might have even joined the Globetrotters. The Globetrotters is an organization specifically designed for you to join if you don't have a home gym and you just want to be able to compete. Because in order to compete in IBJJF, you have to be a member of a jiu-jitsu association. So that's where the Globetrotters came from. But back to the main point here. If you're new to jiu-jitsu and you're trying to pick a gym and the coach discourages cross-training, especially in this day and age, I would take that as a pretty big red flag. And then I would find a different gym to pay my money to. Let me know your thoughts below. Is it okay to cross-train? Should there be limits? Is it actually possible to be a creonte? What do you think? Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.